August 1944, and the war in the skies over Europe is no longer balanced. The Luftwaffe, once feared and admired, now fights a defensive war against numbers it cannot replace. German pilots still believe in skill, discipline, and doctrine. They still believe German engineering is superior. But something is changing. Reports from the front are becoming disturbing. Enemy aircraft are climbing faster, escaping vertically, refusing to turn, striking once and vanishing into the sky. At the Luftwaffe's secret test center in Richtlen, engineers prepare an unusual experiment. Parked on the concrete runway is a captured American fighter aircraft. Its shape is unlike anything Germany has built. Inverted gull wings bend sharply downward and then upward again. A massive radial engine dominates the nose. This aircraft is the Vought F4U Corsair, a machine designed not for Europe, but for the vast distances of the Pacific Ocean. Many German officers dismiss it as irrelevant. They believe it cannot challenge German fighters in European combat. They are wrong. No manuals are available, no blueprints, no technical documentation, only battlefield rumors and wreckage reports. The task of understanding this aircraft falls to one man, Luftwaffe Captain Hans-Werner Lerche, a test pilot, not a propagandist, a man trained to listen to machines instead of ideology. He understands the risk immediately. One mistake at takeoff speed means death. One wrong assumption means fire. He has 45 minutes. No second flight is guaranteed. The Corsair cockpit feels foreign. American labels, American layout, American logic. Everything contradicts German training. The canopy closes. The engine starter engages. The Pratt & Whitney R2800 roars to life. 2,000 horsepower explode into sound and vibration. The aircraft shakes violently at idle. Lerche taxis carefully. Visibility over the nose is poor. Torque pulls the aircraft sideways. This machine demands respect. German ground crew step back. They know this is not a normal test. This is a confrontation with an unknown enemy. Lerche advances the throttle. The Corsair accelerates aggressively, faster than expected, faster than comfortable. The tail lifts. The wings bite into the air. The aircraft leaves the runway. Instantly, Lerche feels the power. The Corsair climbs without hesitation. The ground falls away. Altitude comes easily, too easily. Within seconds, Lerche realizes something unsettling. This aircraft is not struggling. It is not working hard. It is barely trying. German fighters demand finesse. This one demands aggression. Lerche banks gently. The Corsair responds smoothly. Heavy, but stable. Solid, like a weapon meant to survive punishment. He checks engine temperatures. They remain steady. He increases power again. The aircraft surges forward. This is no defensive interceptor. This is a predator. Below him, Germany shrinks into distance. Above him, the sky waits. The 45 minutes have begun. Lerche pushes the Corsair into a steep climb. The nose rises sharply. The engine does not protest. The aircraft continues upward with relentless force. Altitude builds rapidly, faster than the FW198-8, faster than the Bf109G. Lerche tries again. A vertical pull into the sky. No stall, no hesitation. The Corsair keeps climbing. This is not normal. German fighters bleed energy when pushed this hard. This one refuses to slow down. Lerche levels off and accelerates. Speed builds quickly, 15% faster than German frontline fighters. The Corsair feels heavier, but unstoppable. Lerche attempts tight turns. The aircraft resists. This is not a turn fighter. It does not want to dance. It wants to strike. Lerche climbs again, then dives. Speed increases dramatically. Control remains stable. No vibration. No instability. Gun platform tests follow. The Corsair fires cleanly. Minimal recoil disturbance. The guns remain steady even at high speed. This aircraft was designed to fire once and kill. Lerche simulates combat tactics. German dogfighting doctrine fails immediately. The Corsair refuses to stay engaged. It climbs away effortlessly. Any aircraft attempting to follow loses energy, loses speed, loses altitude, and dies. This machine dominates the vertical dimension. It controls when to fight and when to escape. Energy retention is extraordinary. Once the Corsair has speed, it never truly gives it up. Lerche imagines German pilots trying to chase it. They would fail. They would stall. They would be shot from above. The realization is unavoidable. German fighters are no longer superior, not in speed, not in climb, not in survivability. The Corsair represents a different philosophy. American engineers did not design elegance, they designed dominance. Lerche checks the clock. Time is nearly gone. He performs one final climb. The Corsair rises like an elevator. This is not a contest. It is an execution. Lerche knows the truth now. If this aircraft appears in large numbers over Europe, German losses will accelerate. No amount of pilot skill can overcome physics. The Corsair does not need perfection. It needs only altitude and speed. Lerche turns back toward Richelin. He descends carefully. The landing is demanding. The aircraft is unforgiving at low speed, but it touches down safely. The engine shuts down. Silence returns. 45 minutes have rewritten everything Lerche believed about air combat. Hans-Werner Lerche writes his report immediately. There is no emotion, no exaggeration, only data, climb rates, speed comparisons, energy retention, combat implications. His conclusion is clear. Against the Corsair, existing Luftwaffe tactics are ineffective. Dogfighting is suicide. Chasing is impossible. Survival depends on avoidance, not engagement. The Corsair is not better by chance. It is better by design. The report moves up the chain of command. Senior officers read it carefully. They understand what it means. Admitting this truth would require change. Change in doctrine. Change in training. Change in pride. Germany cannot afford any of these. The Luftwaffe was built on the myth of superiority. Breaking that myth would destroy morale. So the report is suppressed, filed away, ignored. No tactical updates are issued. Pilots continue fighting as before, and they continue dying. Lerche does not protest. He has done his duty. The truth has been spoken. History will decide what to do with it. The Corsair remains an enemy aircraft, but its greatest victory never happens in combat. It happens on paper. In 45 minutes. It exposes a failing system, a system unable to accept reality. The Luftwaffe does not collapse because of one aircraft, it collapses because it refuses to listen. Technology moves forward. Ego does not. The Corsair flies on, and Germany falls behind. This is not the story of a plane. It is the story of a warning, and the cost of ignoring it.